Hello world and welcome back to Tasty TV. First and foremost, thank you guys for all the likes and the subs. Of course, you know I appreciate the love, and I of course appreciate the love from Capcom, who just recently gave me the ability to get hands on with a little bit of Street Fighter 6. I mean, look, personally I am waiting for the game. We got a lot of fighters coming out, but Capcom is definitely doing their due diligence with this bad boy, especially if you take into account of the fact that we have some new characters. One of those new characters that I get hands on with today, none other than JP, the new bad guy in Street Fighter 6 and the successor of the Shadaloo, the Psycho Power of M. Bison. Now this character is already cool, not because he has a staff or he has a cape, but mostly because he has so much swag. I mean, in all honesty, his combos look cool, and I feel like the way that he plays really does lend itself to kind of like a new spacing archetype in Street Fighter 6 and just in Street Fighter overall. Being a new bad guy, I know a lot of people are going to pick him up, so I'm glad I got the opportunity to check him out, and you guys are going to check him out with me. So let's take a look at how the game and how Street Fighter 6 wants you to learn JP. Now it's crazy because the way that they actually take you through this character tutorial is not like just combos, but this is more of a playstyle guide to how to play this character, starting with how his moves work. And of course you can see right now this long full screen projectile with three versions, of course, right? He has the regular versions with 3 button strengths, and it's full screen, and he has the EX version. Of course, this is giving you just a basic general breakdown of how to play this character. And their moves, like, starting off, right? So the little shattered glass effect actually gives you the ability to teleport, as well as just set out a projectile on top of them. Also, all these move names, they sound so regal. But yeah, this actually gives you a full-blown breakdown of moves specifically. Not just the fireball, not just, you know, a shooting move, but they give you the use of these moves, like telling you, hey look, this is going to keep your opponent at a distance, and it gives you the ability to try it while it's explaining it to you, which is really good for fighting games. I know a lot of people want these tutorials to be a lot more, you know, purposeful, intentional with how to play the game and teach people how to play the game. This tutorial right here for Street Fighter is a step in the right direction. And look at the range he already has. We already saw before that he can use that shattered glass effect to teleport. He also has a ground projectile that comes out, and that is really hard to jump over, I can tell you right now. The EX, 2 giant pillars of Psycho Power pop out of the ground. And look at the range. I just wanted to step back to show you the range, and it is button strength dependent, right? So if you hit the 2 closer punch buttons, you'll get an EX version of the close version, or if you hit the further buttons, the heavier damage buttons, you will get the further EX versions. And them breaking down these moves like this also helps me as a commentator, you know, Stribog. It makes it a little easier to remember, but also it really does get specific in how you can apply things. So if you're playing somebody that may keep jumping on you, that really wants to control this mid-range, you can use moves like this, like Triglav, like that standing medium punch. And look at this, even shows you how to properly knock down, chase up, and bait out attacks so you can punish your opponent and get really good advantage after it. Stribog actually moves them back a little bit. So the footsie game and that neutral control game that you typically see, like just for example a Ryu trying to control, gets a lot harder because fireballs will get beat by that, as well as just the range of it as well. Also, the little move translations down there and the descriptions really do a good job, even more so. If you don't visually get the confirmation, it literally gives you a written explanation of how to use these moves and just an idea of where to place them. This is me messing around with the moves, as well as just what I saw from what they just showed me, and already I started getting ideas and wanting to try to explore what this character can do. And really, I'm telling you right now, once again, I'm having so much fun. The character not only looks cool, but his playstyle is really cool. And still, it's like a spacing hybrid style from this character that we're getting, which is really dope considering this is a new character in Street Fighter lore. the EX version, or excuse me, the Overdrive version, the OD version if you're nasty, actually gives you a wall bounce, and you can see right there lots of practical uses. So I know one of the main focuses for Street Fighter 6 we feel like is that drive rush, but looking at how JP is using this character's moves as well as his normals, and obviously drive rush will have an effect, but I feel like just his range game is going to be something unique in Street Fighter, typically like we've never seen before. Also, another cool thing about Street Fighter 6 in general, which is kind of cranked up from Street Fighter 5, is if you notice, when characters have kind of like tools, whether it be like a knife or, you know, a pipe in the instance of Cody in Street Fighter 5, they have these cool recovery animations. JP gets a lot of that if you notice. And look at the range of that overdrive Stribog and how it bounces. Once again, it does kind of sway him out of the way, as you see, and that really does help in that neutral game where a lot of characters really like to start their pressure and start to try to find hits to get these big combos. That move really does a great job, and it just seems like some of his normals do a great job of doing that as well. This will do. Oh yeah, this is what we were looking at before with some of the new moves. New moves to us, right? And new moves to JP. That void gives you the ability to place like a little crack above him, right? And you can still use the full screen projectiles to hit him into it. But that's not the only use. You literally get to teleport out of it as well. And as you can see, the different button strengths really do in classic Street Fighter fashion. They control the ranges at which they pop up on the screen, added for a little, you know, extra effect of, hey, when is he gonna do it? What's the range gonna be? And it really does add to the gameplay of the guessing of what's gonna happen next versus JP, who has some very strong full screen approaches, as well as a nice little nifty command throw that we're gonna check out a little later. And once again, even though you can teleport after, you can use it for the simple fact of instantly teleporting to throw your opponent off. So it has multiple uses, and once again, adding to how unique this character JP is overall. You guys know me, I get a little carried away with these training modes, right? So especially with the character tutorial being so well implemented this time around, and they've given us very cool visual guides as well as inputs on screen to show us how we can use it, right? While giving us a description is a very cool added thing to this expansive like Street Fighter 6 that we've never seen before. I feel like this is probably this is definitely the best Street Fighter training mode I've ever seen, especially ever laid hands on. And just being able to practice this over and over at your content, you know, lets you get a lot more comfortable with these things, right? So you no pressure to try them even in training mode. Very focused explanations on how to play the character and how to use the moves and like when to apply them. Yeah, starting to see the mix-up capabilities, right? Also, I will say that this character definitely leaves a lot more to the imagination, because I feel like even though this tutorial really does kind of set you on the right path of how to understand it, and I'm sure this is the case with all the other characters, it really does kind of make me excited about what we could potentially be seeing from a character like JP, a brand new character in JP in the future. And the overdrive one, I keep doing that, the overdrive version of it actually sets up two of them. It sets up two of them. Once again, it's still placed on the button combination as you can see down there in the description, right? So you can use this for added mix-up as well as added damage. I'm sure there's going to be a way for you to incorporate this overdrive version of Departure and make some crazy combos. Once again, testing out the teleport. And just having those options to do that, right? Just having the ability to be like, you know what, I can teleport to stay in. I can teleport to try to force a mix-up, or as well as get added extra combo damage if you find that hit. Teleporting out of both of the voids. As well as it actually changes what happens with Departure, right? So if you actually do use it and teleport through, they can be looking for the actual projectile that comes out of it, or you could just be using it for mix-up. Once again, characters really do a lot and lend themselves to like the creativity and just being very, very specific. Amnesia. Oh yeah, this move is extra cheap, and once again adds to just the flavor of this character. JP sets up a counter and a mine that homes onto you and explodes. I said this character was a unique zoning, right? Think about that. Backing up afterwards and just watching the detonation. Now it does have a little bit of recovery, well, a bunch of recovery, and the startup is a little tricky, as you can see by me having problems as I'm getting donkey kicked by this guy Ryu. But once you get it though, you start to see where it can be implemented, right? Like when you're in these situations where people try to roll forward or crouch a medium kick into fireball, this is when something like this really works out. Any of those strings that actually lead to make possibly a fireball or staggered pressure can be interrupted with Amnesia, and you get this homing mine as a reward. Once I finally get this Amnesia to work right, I forgot how counters work. That's what this Amnesia is. And just testing the ranges of how far and when it'll activate. Now we've seen what'll happen. It'll actually chase you, but I wanted to see just how far the range was and where it would activate. Just, you know, messing with the recovery to see if I will be able to do it naturally. And that's what I was trying to do here. Man, the tumble, the body tumble on my guy JP as I incorrectly do this. But if you do it correctly, and that was a little peek at the EX one, right? Saw the reversal input right there, and the EX still giving you 2 explosive mines. The overdrive giving you 2 explosive mines right there. Giving you juggle properties as well, and we've seen what he can do already. Just a little teaser how he can actually set up those departure and go in either to a combo or just, you know, keep the pressure going with the mix-up. Did you see how fast the CPU just did that? even further testing, I would love to see the interaction of getting like a successful parry and then using Amnesia, right? Instead of using a button after a successful parry or a perfect parry, use Amnesia, right? To catch the follow-up or just take that advantage. Just things that I'm thinking about while I'm sitting here trying some of these things, even in the tutorial mode. Oh yeah, I think this is what the projectile turns out to be. Yes, as you can see right there. 3 different versions with the regular attack buttons, as well as having the EX version. And you see how he's blocking that down back? And just having a full screen projectile, right? Slow, but still effective. So the medium version, an overhead. So mix-ups with the fireball that go full screen, a low version and an overhead version. But as you can see right here, you can actually feint it. You have a false fireball that can definitely trick your opponent into jumping, and he has pretty good normals for making sure you respect the airspace. But as you can see, every button you can hold for a feint. Which is, I think, is really going to add to that up-close game, baiting jumps, and really just annoying any person, any opponent that you could be fighting, because they won't really be sure when to jump in, and the fireball game is going to get pretty intense. Mixing it with that feint is really, I feel like, going to come into play. Really enjoying these character tutorial breakdowns for just playstyle. Just playstyle alone on how to like apply and what to use these attacks for. Not the general attacks, not only the general attacks I should say, but the special attacks as well. Overdrive version, of course, 2 hits. Advantage on block, and you still get follow-ups like I was hinting at a little earlier. Since it's advantage after they block it, that means you do get the opportunity to move, set up another trick, maybe teleport. Stuff like that is really going to expand JP's gameplay. OD Torbalan. full screen fireball. Overdrive is 2 hits. Has a low one as well as an overhead. Look at that. The embrace, just that, acting like you won't get command grabbed, and look at the range of this. My man is full screen. And right down there in the description, you can see where it's telling you to mix up between the projectile and the command throw that looks the same, right? As well as having the ability to do the spikes out of the ground, the ability to teleport, or even have a projectile there is really kind of expanding. I love the way they did this in kind of like sections to show you how you can apply all these things. Embrace, it says. And right here is just what I was thinking about, right? Mixing up the different moves that kind of look similar, right? The fireball has a feint. The command grab is full screen. You still have to be careful of the jumps. You have to be aware of the low, the mid. Definitely kind of gives you, you know, G vibes from Street Fighter V, but still, you know, full screen. And these are some of the buttons I was mentioning, right? Some of his normal buttons just have great range. Also, that animation, come on. Kind of cool. And the overdrive version of Embrace as well. And look at the damage on that command grab as well. Ah, the Chornobog. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But that super projectile invincible? Full screen? Pretty fast. And you can combo into it, of course. Look at that knockdown. Right at that perfect range for you to set up more projectiles, more spacing, more traps. The confirm off of the EX. The confirm off of the overdrive, I mean. Gotta get used to that. It's overdrive now, Steve. EX is in the past. And just testing the ranges and how far it'll go and just looking at the speed right here, because one, I think that's really cool. Two, like I like the range that it covers. On top of the fact that, you know, you have to be careful throwing fireballs against it. Trying to combo into it from the target combo. Got to give it a try myself, right? Target combo here. That target combo also has an extra hit on top of it. And I think it's an overhit. I don't think you can cancel it, but still. Definitely a fan of seeing the references while I'm going through a tutorial. This keeps the mind working, right? As an experienced fighting game player, I'm like, this definitely leaves more to the imagination. And even if I'm just a beginner, having like the on-screen prompts, having the explanations, all do a very good job of helping me understand how these characters are supposed to be played. Lovushka. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Once again, you would think I would know how to say these names, right? Right? Look how cheap this super is. I will enjoy this and able to put you in the mix because of it. The Psycho Power clones keeping you in lockdown. Excuse me. And of course we saw earlier, like you can combo into this super as well. You can use it to force a guessing game, right? You don't get the hit, possibly teleport again. The level 2 is something else, but still very cool. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people getting thrown into the blender because of that bad boy.
Now observe. Do enjoy this. Very good.
And look at that. You can still set up the teleport. You can still set up the other projectiles on top of that while the super, the level 2 is still active. Interdiction. This one is sick. I can't wait for you guys to see this. Hold up. The level 3. Teleports instantly to the opponent and get you through fireballs, and it's a grab. So look, you can, of course you can block it, as you can see right there, but it having those abilities, like the fact that it can go through your fireballs and it's your level 3. Oh, the critical art, the level 3 critical art. Oh man, I was trying to do this for the longest time, but it didn't work. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you guys got any hints on how I can do it better, you figure it out, let me know. Because I was really interested in trying to see if this actually worked. I even got back a little further, right? Actually, maybe the trick would have been to get closer. I don't know, man. If you guys figure it out, post it up. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you notice, the way that they talk you through this character tutorial is as if JP is talking to you himself. Should you be at a distance, you find yourself at when a bout begins, you may elect to use what? You see what I mean? They're literally giving you this tutorial as if the character is telling you himself, and that is so cool.
So it goes. Here.
My man JP is telling you himself what to do. Also, as you can see, JP has an air throw, adding more to, I feel like, that range, knockdown, space control archetype that he's at.
This will do.
I love that this tutorial, this character tutorial, gives you an opportunity to do it. I love that that's what it does, because this is really teaching you, it's hammering in the fact that you need to be able to do this consistently. And also, I feel like this gives you like a little peek. It should like make the brain juice tingle to be like, maybe I could go to training mode and do this myself. Pointing out the fact that you can use an overdrive Amnesia in like this up close game where people really want to hit buttons to kind of take advantage of it and take your turn back. Once you can skillfully manage opponents at mid-range, then you can turn your attention to longer ranges. Kudos to them for making this so interactive, as well as just interesting to even read right now. And bringing it all together, letting you know you can mix it up between the projectiles and the command throws and the feints. Look at the follow-up opportunities you get as they break it down here. Look at this. Mix up, teleport to keep the pressure and brings you closer. Closes that gap, gets you to the corner. Once again, you know, I had to try because my mind starts to wander. I'm like, man, you can do all these cool things. What if I do these things right now, even though I'm supposed to be doing this practice thing? No, the mind takes over. But once again, this just adds to the fact of how much fun I was having with this new character. Definitely not my typical style of play or archetype, but JP is so cool, as well as just the character is so interested in Street Fighter 6 that I'm having fun doing so. testing and trying to figure out small things to do with this character is really one of the things that gets you through training mode. But once you get to those elevated levels, of course, that's when that advanced mindset is really going to come in, right? So this is just general understanding, spacing, how to use, and just getting used to doing like inputs and stuff like that with the character. But what this tutorial does is it really puts you in the mind frame to understand some of the advanced techniques and how to take your understanding of the character and the game to the next level. Once again, kudos to Capcom for even making this deep. You're actually listening to the character explain to you how they are supposed to be played from a developer standpoint and a character standpoint, which is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. That's definitely a new one for me. If you guys have seen this elsewhere, please let me know in the comments, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never actually seen it where it's like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to play me. Not the developers, the character. It's me, JP, and this is what you need to do to succeed with me. Of course, he's going to sound a lot more regal when he does so. But with that being said, I have to say once again, shout outs to Capcom for giving me access to Street Fighter 6 in the early days, just so I could bring it to you guys with the utmost of love, with a little bit of experience, as well as, you know, that new greedy eye of a guy who really wants to get his hands on Street Fighter 6. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit the comments. Talk to the people down there too, because they might know something that I don't know. And as always, make sure you guys follow Tasty TV and check out my streams if you get the time, especially if you want to check out some more fighting games, especially if you want to check out some more Street Fighter 6. With that being said, talk to you later. Peace.